Hello, everyone, and welcome to Perspectives by DGMC, an exclusive podcast series where wisdom meets aspiration. I am Salman Udgikar, the podcaster, and I'm thrilled to begin this meaningful journey with you. And today, we have someone really special. I would say the perfect guest to start our first episode of this podcast series, a visionary leader who has redefined education through leadership and purpose. The managing director of Ferex Group, the president of the Rajasthani Sammelan Education Trust, Sri Ashok M. Saraf. He is the driving force behind the 16 institutes in RSET who directs and leads more than 16,000 young minds. From chemicals to classrooms, his journey blends business acumen with leadership and education. Thank you so much, sir, for being there with us. It's an absolute honor to have you on the show. And I must say, I'm really nervous today. But I believe, sir, that this podcast episode is something that a lot of people look forward to because all of us, sir, have seen you as the president, as a trustee, as the chairman, but we all of us don't know how Mr. Ashok Saraf is, really in his personal life. So I really look forward to this, conversation with you, sir. And I hope all the audience watching us today, they are, very keen to know about you in person. So I know, sir, you had a very long day today, a series of meetings and visits. So how is your day going so far, sir?
Very good.
So we'll just start with a few questions about your early life, sir. So before you became the president of RSET and the chairman at Cerex, what were the early years of Mr. Ashok Saraf like? Like, can you share a little bit about your early life, childhood, and what are the experiences that made you today?
See, I was always interested in education. As a child at Jamna Banerjee School, I was motivated by Shri Chatruj Bhai, who is a visionary leader in education. And my father also persuaded me to take up education because my father believed that education is the best gift that we can give society. My uncle Ram Narayan ji, who was already associated with Rajasthani Sammelan RSET, he persuaded me to join RSET and spend time in growing RSET. RSET at that time was just a Hindi medium school and a degree college only for girls. He persuaded me to join RSET and to collect funds and to grow RSET.
So, sir, as a student or as a child, who was your biggest inspiration, sir? Like, who did you look up to?
Of course, it was my father, Mahavir Prasad Ji Saraf, and Shri Chatruj Narsi, the founder of Narsi Munji Education Society.
So, beyond your role as president, do you have some passion and hobbies that keep you energized?
For me, work is worship, and during my other times, I love seeing movies.
Okay. So, any specific movies, any favorites, sir?
Many.
Okay. So what is your leadership philosophy? What when it comes to managing such a huge organization like RSET or maybe Cerex? So what is your philosophy that you follow for leadership?
See, to be a successful leader, you first have to have discipline and passion in whatever you do. If you have discipline and passion, you will succeed. And a leader is one who can take everybody along. A leader is one who can make people follow, make people work with him. You can succeed only if you are able to motivate people to follow you.
So when you thought, so you said education is something that you had in your mind since early age. So was it a really conscious decision that I will make my career in education, or was it by fate that somebody inspired you to come and take this up?
See, for me, education is not a career. Business is my career. Education is a passion because elders taught us that we have to contribute to the society. So I take part in educational activities because we believe giving back to society is very important. But as a career, of course, my chemical business is my career.
Okay. Did you have any dreams as a small boy, sir, like to become an astronaut or a fighter pilot, or that every boy has? Any unique dream?
See, in younger days, we used to see movies, so we always wanted to be a spy,
Oh.
But not any longer.
Okay. So you've seen generations pass through RSET. Like I think this 2027 will be you as 20 years as the president of RSET. So you've seen so many generations, just as the president. So how would you describe the students today as compared to the earlier days?
See, in earlier times, students used to work hard, mug things up, and education was in a different way pursued by students also and by teachers also. Today, younger children, they do it in a different way. They use gadgets and they have more innovative ways of learning. Students don't want to pursue IITs and IIMs, but they want to go to IB schools where education is totally different from what it used to be 25 years and 30 years ago. Both are good.
Yeah. So do you think we are proceeding towards good, or is it deviating in some way?
It's a different way of doing the same thing. And I wouldn't say it's not good. I'm sure that with changing world, we have to change the way we pursue education also.
So, sir, as you know that education is evolving today so fast. So, how do you see institutes like RSET, adopting these changes?
See, we are also with changing times, changing our ways of teaching, and we will have to. All those who want to succeed in future will have to change the way of teaching in order to impart education with the latest equipments and with the latest technology.
So coming to DGMC now, the institute that we are in. So DGMC as a part of RSET has seen rapid developments in recent years, with autonomy, NAC accreditation, and we are starting off with new courses as well. So what excites you the most about DGMC and its future, sir?
DGMC as an institute is very dear to RSET and to me in particular because it imparts education also in media. And media, I believe, is the industry of the future. And there are very few institutions who do education in media studies. So we look towards DGMC to produce some great artists who will bring name, fame to DGMC and to our country.
So with that, can we do a mug cheer? Thank you. So, sir, along with DGMC, obviously DSIMS, LRMC, GSCC, all these institutes are also heading towards autonomy, which are all under RSET. So, what do you think, sir, after autonomy? How well can we serve the society through these institutes, and also how do you think these institutes in itself will develop after autonomy?
See, 4 of RSET institutions are going in for autonomy, have got autonomy. With autonomy, we have the liberty to frame our own curriculum, conduct our own exams, and we can make students industry ready more because the curriculum will be designed in such a way that they will learn things which are required in the industry. And job-oriented courses will be more pursued by the students. So that is going to considerably help the students.
Okay. So how do you personally, like Mr. Ashok Saraf, how does he personally measure the success of an education institute?
The normal way the success of an educational institution is measured is by the academic results, by the ranking that an institution gets. But to me, the best way to rank an institution or to measure the success of an institution is when the number of applications for admissions that you get, and the longer the waiting list, the more successful the institution is, because I believe that students are the true ambassadors, and students are the true people who can measure how good an institution is. Rating agency may be biased, may not do a good job. But students, through their friends, can really find out which institution is good for them. And it is the consumer ultimately who is the most important, and consumer always decides what is good.
So you would want all your HOIs and all your staff members to make sure that the student feedback is really good.
That's very important.
So, sir, RSET places a lot of emphasis on discipline and decorum. Like we've seen that, especially when you're around, it's a different aura. So whenever I've seen you come on campus, so how important do you think, a structure of rules and regulations is, in our overall student's life? So how do you think this plays an important role?
Discipline is a very important aspect of doing anything as a student, as business. If you want to be successful, passion is required, but discipline is necessary to succeed.
Okay. So ASET has been, in the forefront of education for past more than 75 years now. So I think we have thousands of alumni who have passed through various of our institutes. So what role do you think, they should play? Or if, any of our past alumni are listening to us today, what is that one message or something that you would want to, give them about RSET or about in general?
See, alumni play a very important role in any institutions. Today we see IITs, we see Harvard growing because of the alumni. It's not only the money that the alumni contributes, but they come back, they are ambassadors, they come and teach, they talk about the institution. Alumni play a very important role in the growth of any institution, and the alumni should take care of their institution, because whatever they are today, it is because of the institution. I am an alumni of Jamnabai Nursery School, and I still go to the school every week. And if there is anything which I can go to, anything I can do for Jamnabai Nursery School, I'll be the first one to do it. Leave everything and go there.
Okay. So, sir, like all of us at RSET, we look up to you as an inspiration. You said you like working, work is worship. So we know you like work from like morning 9:30, 10 to like 7:30 in the morning, in the night. So, we all of us look at you as inspiration. But currently, do you have somebody as an inspiration? Currently, do you look up to somebody whose work you really appreciate?
Narendra Modi.
The Prime Minister. That's a great question. So when you leave office for the day, what makes you? Like what does Mr. Ashok Saraf find happiness in doing beyond like after office when you go home? So what do you do? Like what is your leisure time?
Going home, being at home with the wife and children, that is the best thing. And then seeing movies.
Yeah, with them. So you watch a lot of movies with your family?
Yes, I do.
Do you go to theaters or sometimes?
Also.
Okay. So we have a small rapid fire round as a part of a podcast. So we would ask you a few questions about you, and you can just answer what is the first thing that comes to your mind. So 3 things that you have always have on your desk.
A pen, a rough pad, and an iPad.
Something different, so something that you have, maybe something given to you by your parents or something.
These are tools which I always require, so I always have them on my desk.
Okay. So can you describe your ideal holiday?
With my daughters and my wife.
Any specific place or any favorite place that you have?
Any place in India is good.
Okay. So what's more important, sir? Passion or discipline, according to you?
Passion is important, but more important is discipline. If you are passionate and you are indisciplined, you will not succeed. If you are disciplined and also passionate, you will succeed.
Okay. So I've always heard, in your speeches, you always say that, talent can be God gift, but hard work is in one's own hands. Like, you yourself need to create your destiny. So do you feel that, the students of the current generation, they are using this hard work currently very strongly, or are they dependent a lot on the other aspects?
I believe we cannot generalize a generation, but I believe that if you want to succeed, you have to work hard. And if you work very hard, you will succeed. It will take you longer. Night can be longer. After every night, there is day. You have to live the night. Yeah. However long it is. So the harder you work, the faster you will succeed.
Okay. So, one thing that you admire a lot about your fellow trustees or donors at RSET or your colleagues, one thing that you admire about that?
See, colleagues, the committee members who work for RSET, the office bearers, their commitment. And as far as donors are concerned, their faith in RSET. To give donation, to give money is not an easy thing to do. So because they have faith in RSET, they give money to us. And the committee members, their commitment, they spend so much time here, is what I appreciate.
So there are so many, like more than 16 institutes in RSET. But if you can name any one institute, which really challenged you a lot while you were about to create it, which the process which you found that it was very challenging, but obviously after the institute was created, it was worthwhile and it's doing really well.
DGMC.
Okay.
Because we had to write the curriculum at the university, we had to get permission from AICTE. The construction, it was the last institution to be constructed. So it was very challenging, but it gives me maximum pleasure when I am at DGMC.
Okay. So I'm sorry to ask this question, sir, but if I were to become the president of RSET one day, what is that one quality that you would want in me?
Discipline.
I think I have that. I'm
Yes,
gonna
you
get
have.
famous after this podcast. I know for a fact, sir. And you telling that. Okay. So if you were granted one wish, sir, what would it be?
That RSET should establish a skill tech university.
Okay.
And then after that, RSET should go into rural areas and do education where it is most needed.
Okay. So you've been so successful in your business and also at RSET and obviously in your personal professional life. One thing, according to your personal experience, that you feel that success cannot buy.
Happiness.
That is beyond success. Okay. Okay. So what is your happy place to be?
At my office.
Office. Okay. So,
Because work is something which gives me immense pleasure.
if I may ask, RSET or Cerex?
Sarex, of course. RSET gives me a lot of happiness, but Sarex is... See, we cannot look after a charitable trust if you cannot look after your own business. So, all the energy and the funds, they come out of Sarex. So, Sarex is the first love. RSET is the second.
Okay. So who's your favorite actor and actress? So, since you said you like a lot of movies.
Amitabh Bachchan
Okay.
and Ravina Tandon.
Okay. And so if your life were a movie, what would it be titled?
I cannot think of an appropriate answer at this point of time.
Okay. So, but if, sir, any of the movies that you have watched, what would you think that best relates to your life? Any movie that close enough?
Not really.
Okay. Okay. So, what is your go-to stress buster? What is that one thing that you do to stress?
See movies?
Okay. Do you play any video games or anything?
No.
Okay. And 3 things that you don't like in general, sir?
Being late for a meeting,
Okay.
then not planning the day, and not being able to achieve what I decide to achieve.
Okay. Okay. And one word, sir, for the future of education?
That is the most important thing that a person can possess. And you can never lose education. Money can come and go, but
People can't
whatever you
steal your
learn,
knowledge.
people cannot steal your knowledge.
So, sir, since I was preparing for this podcast, I have, seen a lot of videos, I think 10, 15 years ago, your annual day speeches and, your speeches at inauguration. So I found this one very interesting one wherein you were inaugurating the boys hostel. So Mr. Kapil Dev had come as the chief guest. So he said that, he was so impressed by all the work that was put in by RSET. So he said that, he would want Cambridge and Harvard to, study how RSET is functioning and to follow similar lines. So, sir, with that in line, if you were to, open a new branch of RSET in India and in abroad, so which city in India and which city abroad, sir?
See, Bombay is a place where my family has been born and brought up. So we so far have been doing work in Mumbai, and I don't want to go abroad and establish anything. There is a lot of opportunities to do work within India, and India is what requires education. So I would like to go to Rajasthan and do work over there because originally our ancestors were from there. But it is Mumbai and Rajasthan.
Okay. So Mumbai and Rajasthan. Any specific city, sir? Jaipur, Udaipur or
Fatehpur.
Fatehpur?
where we hail from originally.
Oh,
It is very close to Jaipur.
okay.
And we are at present discussing about one school over there,
Okay. Which is under RSET.
not RSET.
Okay. So
And we are also discussing of setting up a school in Boisar where our factories are.
okay. So, sir, any immediate future, like obviously you just said, but any other immediate, future surprises that RSET is gonna give us? So, if you want to, tell it to people through our podcast, any surprise?
RSET is in the process of setting up a skill tech university.
Okay.
And we hope that within 2.5 years or 3 years, we will come up with that university,
Okay.
where we will impart education to students which are related to skills which will give them jobs easily and immediately.
Okay.
We are also tying up with various industries to conduct training and impart education to those skills which they would require in their employees.
Okay. So one moment in your life, if you were given a chance to relive it, obviously it will be your happiest moment. So, which moment would you like to relive again?
When we had Amir Khan over here in RSET,
Oh,
that
Yeah, I
was
think
perhaps
we've
one of the
come-
most happiest moment because we completed 50 years of
KG.
Sarodaya School,
Yes.
KGSS.
SS.
And that time Amir Khan was on the top
Hmm.
and we were fortunate to have him here.
I think Three Idiots are just
Correct.
released.
That's just
I've seen that video as well. Okay. So, sir, if you could give one piece of advice to every student who's watching our podcast today, what would it be, sir?
To the students, I always say this is the best part of your life and they should work hard, enjoy life, succeed, bring laurels to their family, bring laurels to the institution, and bring laurels to the country.
Okay. And if you want to say something to the 800 staff members at RSET, any message?
To my staff members, I always say that RSET is all because of you all, and people are our biggest strength. And our success at RSET is because of the staff members and the heads of the institutions that we have.
So, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
It was great talking to you, and I think that wraps up this episode of Perspectives by DGMC. We hope that today's conversation, sparked new thoughts, and obviously we could get Mr. Ashok Saraf to speak, about his personal life and a lot of things. So I know, so this episode is gonna be a super hit, and with this being the first episode, I think our podcast series is gonna get a lot of this. So a heartfelt thank you to you, sir,
Thank you.
for being there with us, and to all our listeners, thank you so much for being there. And until next time, stay curious, stay exploring, and remember that every perspective has the strength to shape your journey. This is Sanman Utkikar signing off. Stay connected, stay inspired. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.